They live in a small town, and it's very confusing.
Remind us what day of the week it is. Um, is May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And mental health is essential for everyone's overall health and well-being. And mental illnesses are common and they are treatable. They're very treatable. So I'm sure you all know somebody who has probably suffered. We don't get to this age in our life without knowing someone who suffered some sort of mental illness. 1 in 5 people will experience a mental illness during their lifetime. And everyone, no matter who you are, faces some sort of challenges that will impact their mental health. Most people have no ideas that their mental health affects your physical health. So if you think about if you're stressed out, what happens to your body? You may tense up, physically tense up. You may yeah, it's bad. That cortisol drop is bad for, oh, good morning, Deborah. It's all that stuff's like really, it wreaks havoc on your immune system. So we know if you want to stay healthy, you need to not only, eat healthy and exercise, but you also need to practice having a good idea of what's happening in your consciousness, your emotional health. Our body stores trauma, and whether we want to admit it or not, what we are going through right now in this pandemic is traumatic. It is, it's a different way of life. We are grieving the way we used to be and how we are now. So they doing things like, yoga, exercises, taking long walks, doing these Zoom things where you can still connect with people really does affect your overall health and well-being. So I like to think of it as negative thoughts are just as toxic as a poor diet, just as toxic as drugs and alcohol. So if we are constantly thinking these negative thoughts, we're not really doing ourselves a good service. Did you know there are over 3,000 words in the English language that express emotions? So there's over 3,000 words that can tell you how someone feels. And most of us only think about like, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm like very small vocabulary of words, but there are over 3,000. So we're not just we may have multiple emotions going on all at once. You may be happy, but you may also be melancholy because you're not doing exactly what you want. And those thoughts, they kind of breed, right? They take form. And if you think those thoughts over and over and over, that can turn into depression, anxiety. It can really affect your mental health. So it is being May, observing mental health this month. There is a campaign going on called Break the Stigma. So some of you may have heard about that, maybe not, but it's a campaign to make people realize that you shouldn't be ashamed if you're suffering mental health wise, that it's okay. And one way to think about your mental health is one way to help with mental health is to share your stories, to share your experiences. So that's where I wanted to go. That's my whole talk about mental health is I'm going to share with you my story today. And it also relates to Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you. And even if you're not a mother, you have a mother, or you did have a mother at one point. So maybe you're a mother to a fur baby or whatever. But my story is, this weekend is Mother's Day. I lost my mom 11 years ago. When I was with my mom when she passed. It was pretty traumatic for me. And 20 days after my mom passed, my best friend passed away from cancer, and she was 30. So for about 2 years in my early 30s, I struggled with depression. I struggled. I couldn't shake it off. I did go to work. I was an advertising executive, and I went to work every day. I maintained my job. Probably just wasn't as social at work, but I did my job. I still had to be a mother. I had a teenage daughter at that point, and I was struggling dealing with her because, teenage daughters are fun. And then I was a wife, and I quit cooking. I would come home, I would go take a hot bath, and then I go to bed. So I struggled with depression for about 2 years. And people wouldn't, I guess, look at me, would never know that I was depressed. And mine was very mild. I mean, my depression. And I look at what other people are dealing with, especially people now that are, struggling with family members getting sick with this disease, not being able to be near them. But I related to that, that breakdown that I had was trauma related. It was PTSD. Although I wasn't at war fighting anyone, I was traumatized by that experience. I lost the 2 women in my life that I told everything to. They were my, everything. And I just kind of all of a sudden lost it. So I tell you this story to again, break the stigma that it's not, we shouldn't be embarrassed about being depressed. We should be able to be open and have conversations about it, that it is better to talk about it than not talk about it. I will tell you, I didn't talk about it for many, many years. And once I started open up and sharing the fact that I had to go on Lexapro, I was depressed. I was very sad. That we shouldn't be embarrassed for needing those things. We shouldn't hide that. So I hope that my story, again, I'm not trying to get your sympathy or anything like that. I just want you to know that other people have these stories, and they're walking around, and maybe when someone cuts you off in the car, or someone is, cuts in front of you or does something that you don't like, we don't know what story they're walking around with. We don't know if they have depression. We don't know if they have, something going on. That I try to look at life through the lens of everybody's got a story. Everybody's got something going on, and our bodies keep the score. And that's very true. After all this depression, that's when I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis. I do believe that my body held that trauma, and yoga, meditations, movement, hot baths, hot yoga, all these things, they helped me kind of release that tension that I had in my body, which is why I truly believe in teaching this practice, because it helped me. It helped me. My mom was very spiritual. We went to church, all those things. And after my mom passed, I couldn't go to church. It was so painful. Every time they sung a hymn, I just sobbed. So I found my solace in, practicing yoga and meditation, where I could just I would, when I meditated, I imagined heaven. So I don't know if any of that speaks to you, but happy Mother's Day. And I guess this is why I'm so drawn, because I miss my mom so much. I'm so drawn to you guys, because all of y'all remind me of my mom. So happy Mother's Day to all of you. And I hope you have a good one. So please, take care of yourself and take care of your others. Tell your family members you love them. That's really important.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we'll get started now that I've done all my drama. If y'all want to talk later after we get to our practice, we can. Maybe you can share some of your stories. But I'm going to go ahead and put you on mute. Go ahead, sit in your chair, and close your eyes. While you're with your eyes closed, lengthen your back, your spine, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw if you're holding tension in your face. Feel your feet on the ground, feeling grounded to the earth. Crown of your head lifts, reaching for the sky above you. And now observe your breath. Bring your chin towards your chest. And then start to rock your head in a side-to-side motion, relaxing your neck. No jarring movements, just a simple rock from side to side. And if you like to set an intention or maybe a dedication, so I'm going to dedicate my practice to my mom. And maybe you have someone, maybe your mother or another mother, maybe your daughters or other mothers that you know in your life. Maybe you want to dedicate this moment, this practice to them. And gently bring your chin towards your chest. Spread out your fingers wide on your lap and then slide into that cat pose. So articulating your back so it makes a rounding shape as your chin tucks in, hollow out your belly. Squeeze in the spine. So think of your core, your midsection of your body, the space in between your rib cage and your pelvis, like that part is hugging in. Now we're going to slide our hands to our hip creases, bring your elbows back and push your heart forward. Lift through the crown of your head. Pull back those shoulders. Squeeze your elbows in towards your center line. So feel like your heart is opening here. Taking in a couple deep cleansing breaths. And then we'll round again, coming back into that cat shape. Couple deep cleansing breaths in the cat shape. Feel your back of your ribs. See if you can make space there. If you wanted your rib cage to expand in your back, how would you do that? Can you just feel that area of your upper back stretching out? Now we'll lift up the chest, pull the shoulders back, hands to your hip crease. Lift up your heart, drop your shoulders down, push your belly forward. One more. We'll come back into that cat shape. Tuck the chin in. Scoop the belly in and up. Inhale. And on your exhale, slide your hands down your shins. Be very mindful of how you're sliding. If anything feels discomforting, take it back a notch or two. As you reach for the floor, relax the shoulders. Even maybe drop the shoulders some. Now, just like we rocked our head side to side, if this doesn't make you dizzy, now if it makes you dizzy, don't do it. But you can rock the head from side to side here, looking down. This is gonna work the back of your neck, but it may, if you have any little bit of vertigo or any of that, it may not feel so good. So just be mindful. Now we're going to slide our hands up our legs. Take your forearms to your lap. If they don't reach, grab a pillow or something. You can put something in your lap to lift it up and sit like this for just a second. When you sit like this, I want you to think about your low back. So from the tailbone, your sit bone, to like basically just above your waistline. So that part of your body, I want you to breathe into. You can close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and exhale, and see if you can feel like that low back is pressing out and away from your spine. Couple deep cleansing breaths. If we were laying on our mat, I would call this like a version of child's pose. Now see if you can articulate your back, making that rounding shape like you would for cat. So now as you breathe in, you're pushing up your spine, feeling the whole back side. Good. Now take your right hand and left hand to your lap. Lift your chest up, straighten your body. Extend the arms up to the sky, reaching up, big stretch. Now actively press your feet into the ground. Maybe readjust your sit bones in your chair. Spread your fingers wide. And now turn your pinkies. We're going to activate your forearms. Turn your pinkies towards the center of your crown of your head, and your thumbs go out. Now widen your arms and pull them back. Take in a couple breaths here. Front of the lungs, the front of your chest filling up with air. Exhaling out, pushing the air out, feeling your belly expand. Notice that the blood flow from your fingertips is running down your arms. You can just imagine that in your mind, that the body is working in a different direction. So part of yoga is creating space and moving blood flow. We want to do that. We want to reach parts of our bodies we don't normally reach, because if we're sitting all day, our arms aren't in the air, right? Take your arms out wide, big T shape. Crisscross your arms, make an X. And then open your arms wide. And now crisscross the other way. So be mindful of your movements. You can start to adjust your palms facing up. You can try it palms facing down, making those X's. See how crisscross you can go and how far you can reach back. And see if you can find a little flow here. Oh, my arms are getting tired. One more, crisscross. Reach it out wide. One more stretch up. And then gently float the arms down. Relax your upper body here. Shift your weight to that left foot. Lift your right knee up. So we're just balancing for a second here on the right foot. Fingertips reaching towards the ground so your shoulders are pulling away from your earlobes. Then let's kick out that right foot. Point and flex. And then bend the right knee and we'll lower that one down. Let's try the other side. Shift your weight to your right foot, lift your left knee. Kick it out, shoulders come down, point and flex. And we'll bend the left knee, bring that one down. Now this time we're gonna lift up the right knee, press the left foot into the ground, lift your left arm. Kick out your right foot, reach up higher through your left hand. Ooh, point those right toes up. So the heel is pointing out, the toes are pushing up. Bend the right knee, lower the left arm. Switching sides. Lift your left knee up. Lift your right arm up. Kick it out. If we were doing this on the mat, we would call this bird dog. like you threw tabletop. Reach up, see if you can lift up that right rib just a little more. Lower down. We'll try the left arm up, right knee comes up, kick out that right foot. Reach up higher. Now here's the trick. We're going to take the right foot to the right side, left arm behind you. Feel that top of that hip flexor. Bring it back in, lower it down. We'll switch sides, left knee comes up, right arm comes up, kick out the left leg, lift up a little higher, take your left foot to the left side, right arm reaches out to the right. Bring it back in and lower down. All right, adding on to that. Left foot presses into the ground, right knee comes up. Reach both arms up. Kick the right foot forward. Hinge at the waist and round your back like you would for cat. Reach for your foot. Doesn't matter if you touch it. Now lift that foot up and we'll pulse it a couple times. Feel your spine. Really strong right leg. Woo, I'm feeling that. Lift up, arms come up, right knee bends, lower down. Right foot's gonna press into the ground, left knee comes up, kick it out. Both arms come up, reach tall, round and hollow out that belly like you did for cat, and we'll lift up, pulse a little bit. Oh, if it's too much the pulsing, just keep the leg straight and reach. And here we go, last one. Woo. Reach up, bend the knee, lower the arms down. Take them behind you. Hold on to the back of your chair or to interlace your hands. Lift up your chest, your heart. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And now actively press your feet into the ground. Close your eyes and notice your breath again. Come to that awareness of your inhalation. And what does it feel as you exhale? Good. Release your hands from behind you, reach straight up. Look down at your knees, make sure there's a place for your belly to fall. And then we're gonna exhale out to cactus arms. And then inhale, press up through the fingers, round the spine, take your hands to your knees, slide all the way down your shin. Lean over to your right leg, give your right side a little massage. Kind of feel that from the left hip over here, that whole side body stretch that you're getting as you lean to the right. And now we'll move our torso over to this left leg. Kind of nudge your right shoulder over a bit. Massage the left calf. Now come back through center. Lift up, look up halfway. Try to lengthen your back. Make it flat like a tabletop. Shoulders pulling away from your ears. Press the four corners of your feet into the ground, so ground through your feet. Now we'll add on to reach our hands forward. Again, that low back, feel that guy. Whew. Take your arms back behind you, point the crown of your head forward, reach back. So the arms are gonna come up, maybe higher than your back. And then inhale, bring your arms forward, look up. Exhale, bring your arms back like you're flying. Inhale, look up, reach forward. Press your feet into the ground, hug your belly and pull your chest up. Ooh, that's using your core. Ah. Cactus out your arms. Big smiles. Inhale, reach up. Bring your hands to prayer at your heart. Toe heel your feet together so that your Knees are touching. And we're gonna come into our Thunderbolt twist. So long, straight spine, head lifts up. Hinge forward at your waist, keeping the spine straight. Now press palm into palm. Take your left elbow towards your right knee and look to the right. Come back through center and we'll twist to the left. So right elbow goes down, left elbow comes up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Back through center, hands at your heart. Straighten the spine, reach up, re-extend the arms. Woo. Exhale, the arms come down. Roll out your shoulders. Re-extend the arms up. Hands to your heart. Back to our Thunderbolt. Well, we're going to open up a little deeper here. Hinge forward, flat back. Twist to the right, but instead of keeping your hands at prayer, take your left hand across your right leg. Reach your right arm up. So it's a lift in the right hand. Maybe you feel a little bit in your left shoulder blade back there. Ooh, I feel that. That's kind of nice. And we'll bring our hands, right hand down, back to prayer. And let's take it to the other side. Right hand's gonna go across your lap to the outside of your left leg. Left arm's gonna reach up, kind of nudging your torso to the left. Keep breathing. And back through center, hands at your prayer. And then extend the arms straight up. Exhale the arms down. Nice job. Roll out those shoulders. So keeping with a little bit of our shoulder theme, extend your right arm out. Bring it across your chest. Use your left arm or your left elbow. And gently nudge open your right shoulder blade. To add on, look over your right shoulder to the right side of your room. Breathe. And we'll gently let go of the left arm. Reach your right arm over your head, taking that side body stretch. Half seated moon here. Left hand has options. You can hold on to your left thigh. You can hold on to the chair. I suggest holding on to the chair so you don't fall out of the chair. Lift your right rib cage up. Soften your shoulder. Maybe even bend your right elbow some. Draw that elbow back and gaze up. We'll float right arm very slowly, mindfully down. Good. Reach your left arm out to the left side. Bring it back behind you and then straighten it out in front of you. Reach towards the right side of the room with your left hand. Take your options for the shoulder stretch here. Right elbow bends and that's going to kind of hook and hold onto your left forearm. Lift up your head so you can stretch out your neck. An option to look over the left shoulder. Enjoy the stretch. Be here mindfully feeling your body. And we'll release the right arm, take the left arm back out to the side, reach it behind you, then bring it all the way up. And hinge over, lifting the left rib cage, reaching your fingers to the right side of your room. Lift up through the left rib, Soften the left shoulder, bend your left elbow, and then gaze up. Breathe, feel the stretch. And we'll slowly, mindfully bring the left hand down. Widen out your stance and bring your feet a little wider than hip distance. Come to almost the edge of your chair here, and we're going to swing around in those circles. We do this often, but this time, think about when we push ourselves, when we lean forward, I want you to think about the belly coming out. That's why I use this nice shirt today, so you won't see my belly. And then you're going to go to like the right side, or the right side. This is your right side. And feel like you pushing yourself to the right and sucking in the right side of your body. Then you're going to go to the back. When you push, when you're kind of rounding, you know, going in that circle like this, feel like you're sucking your core in, and then you're pushing it to the left. So I want you to feel, although it's kind of all internal, you won't really see it, but go so slow that each movement, like this forward, I'm pushing my muscles forward, and then when I go to the right, I'm pushing my left side to the right side. So each movement it's not just moving, I'm being very mindful of how I'm moving and how I can push my body in different directions. So even if this is super small, like imagine that you're laying in your bed and you want it to push your belly forward, so you kind of lift your belly up. If you kind of want it to lean to one side, you push your body to that side. So it's a little different than kind of just flowing. We're really mindfully moving these body parts. Thinking about the core of our essence. And now that you've done that, I want you to go in the other direction and not think about it. Now I just want you to kind of move. Just a flowing motion, and see if you can tell there was a difference if you're from when you just did it a second ago to how you're doing it now. For me, as I'm doing it now, I feel it more in my sit bones. I'm not worried about my core, so I feel it a little less. But it feels like a good rocking, gentle motion. Where we take our focus really matters in yoga. All right, we'll circle around one more time. And then come back to our neutral shape and bring your knees as wide as they feel comfortable for you. And we'll work on the inner thighs here. So I want you to take your wrist and nudge it to the inside of your right knee. As you do that, you're going to slide that arm down. Maybe use your left hand, hold onto your left hip. Or if it feels good to you, can reach it over. So you're getting a side stretch and you're getting an inner thigh stretch on the right side. We'll hold this for about 3 breaths. Deep breaths in. Slow, mindful breaths out. So as we prepare to move to the other side, just think about what you're about to do. You're going to take that left wrist and bring it to the outside of your left knee. And float the right arm up. Taking it to the other side. Nudge open your left knee. Draw back your right shoulder. Close your eyes maybe and breathe. Now we're going to gently release that. Take both hands, one hand to each knee. Lean forward, flat back. Deep breaths in. Now, begin to let your hands slide down your legs. Doesn't matter if your hands touch the ground. I have my little pillow down here that I can touch the ground because my pillow is, lifting up some. So if you don't have a pillow or anything, you can let your arms dangle, but if you have something you can put your hands on, use it. As I'm down here, I want to think about pressing my knees out. So this is just a form of a wide-legged forward fold. Good. Now lift up halfway. Maybe you hold onto your shins. Draw your shoulders back. Look up. Exhale, fold maybe a little deeper. Maybe you get a little closer to the ground this time. All right. Now we're going to go very slowly. Take your hands back to your knees. Press your feet into the ground. Hug your belly in. Lift your shoulders. Lift your head. Toe heel your feet back in. Rock on your sit bones side to side. We're going to lift the right knee up. Give it a squeeze. Roll around that right ankle in some circles. And then circle it in the other direction. And now lift up your head and round to give your knee a kiss. Mwah. We'll do that 2 more times. Hug in. Lift up. Hug in. Lift up. 1 more. Hug it in. Lift your chest. Lower your right knee down. Relax that right leg. Let's move to the left side. Hug your left knee in and circle out your left ankle. And circle it in the other direction. And now lift up your chest. Round and give your knee a kiss. Try to get your lips as close to your left knee as possible. Then lift up, take your chin as far away from your left knee. And then round, bring it all in close together. Exhale it back. Bring it in. Hug that knee in towards your chest. Lean it back. And then we'll lower the left foot. Inhale, sweep both arms up to the sky. Bring your hands to your heart. Wiggle yourself to the edge of your chair. And then we're going to lean back, lifting. You may want to squeeze your thighs together. That feels good. Here's your core. We've been working a lot on the back and the core. We'll just hang here for a moment or two. Remember your intention, your dedication, your power. Keep breathing. For 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Lower those legs. Reach your arms back up. Big stretch to the sky. And then exhale, bring the arms down. We're going to come to our standing shapes now. So if you want to move your chair, get yourself so you can stand. So we did a lot of hugging in, and we're going to stretch it all out the back. So take your hands to the chair, walk back into your downward facing dog. I'll give everybody a minute to explore their downward facing dog, to figure out what they need out of this shape, where you can create space in your spine, your arms, your legs. Big breath in and out. Now we're going to look forward, lift up your chest, and step your right foot towards the chair. We're going into pyramid pose. So your all 10 toes are facing forward. So we want you to put your feet on railroad tracks. They're not on a balance beam. If your feet are too close together, toggle that right foot out some. Now, take your hands to your hips so you're balancing. And see if you can just slightly move your left hip forward and your right hip back so that your pelvis is neutral. Now we'll inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, lean forward. Maybe you can take your forearms to the chair. As you do that, if you can also, lean on the chair like this or like that, whichever way feels better for you. Again, readjust. That right hip needs to nudge back just a little. Maybe you can bring your chin to your hands, to your arms that are holding onto the chair. Find that deep stretch in the right leg. We're going to revolve open this pyramid. So what I want you to do is keep your left forearm on the chair, or left hand on the chair. Turn your torso to the right and lift your right arm up. Now my stretch is going in my left leg. Reach up through the right fingertips. Lean back. Crack open. Little crack of sunshine coming into your heart here. Exhale, take your right arm down. Bend into your right knee. Bring your chest back. Look down at your left foot. Turn your left toes to the left side. Inhale, warrior one. So we just made a couple adjustments. Right knee's bent. Your left toes are pointed at a 45-degree angle to the left side of the room. Now straighten the right knee. Now we'll bend into it again. Arms can be at your hips or they can be above you. Just a little bend and straighten. Two more, bend into it. Straighten, bend, straighten. Now take your hands back to the chair and we'll step back your right foot and find your way back into that downward facing dog. Wag your tail, shift your body a little side to side. And then come to stillness. Look down at your toes. Soften your knees. Breathe. This is the moment of relaxation before we move to the left side. Now begin to lift your chest, look forward. Step your left foot to the chair. Now again, you can, if your feet aren't wide enough, toe the left foot to the left side. Look down, make sure your feet are pointing towards 12 o'clock, right straight in front of you. And now adjust. Adjust your hips. So maybe bring your hands to your hips. Right hip's gonna move slightly forward, left hip's gonna scoot back. Once you get your hips so your pelvis is neutral, one's not leaning too far, inhale, reach up. Big stretch to the sky. Maybe you want to reach back behind you if that feels good for the standing back bend. Now we'll hinge at the waist and come onto our forearms, holding onto the top of the chair. Again, readjust so that your hips, right hip comes forward, left hip pushes back some. And again, take your options. How do you want to lean into this? Where does it feel good to you? Maybe you need to stay up higher. Maybe you need to come down lower. Maybe you need to reach your hands to the floor. Whatever works for you, make your adjustments, observe your body and its needs. Relax into the shape. And now we're going to open up for that revolved pyramid. Right arm's going to stay on the chair. Left arm's going to sweep open. Keep breathing. Feel that left rib cage just kind of expanding, those intercostal muscles opening up. Big stretch. Take your left hand down slowly back to the chair. Lift your chest back up to neutral and then spiral. Your right heel is going to stay down, but your right toes are going to go to the right side of the room. We're going to bend into the left knee. Here's your warrior one. Arms can go up or you can hold them on your hips. So we can straighten and bend, straighten and bend that left knee. Two more. Squeeze your glutes. Good. Now come back through center. Take both hands to the chair. Step your left foot back. Your last downward facing dog. Walk your feet as far back as you need to feel this stretch. Push your tailbone out and up. And to do that, you'll bend your knees. Squeeze your shoulder blades down your rib cage. So shoulder blades going towards your hips. Smooth breath. Gently lift up your chest. Walk your feet forward. Come to a standing Tadasana, thumbs pointing out away from your hips. Close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I want you just to tilt yourself a little forward, tilt yourself a little back, lean a little to the right, lean a little to the left. If with your eyes closed, it's like, you got to hold on to something, then keep your eyes open. But just move your center of gravity a little forward, a little back, just taking a little inventory of your center of gravity. How does it move? How does it work? Little tiny circles maybe you're making. Now come to stillness and open your eyes. Find something in front of you, not me, not the screen, but something that you can stare at that's not moving. We'll bring our hands to our hips. Shift your weight to the left leg, lift your right knee up. Call this one-legged mountain or standing Tadasana. You can stay here or you can add in reaching the arms up. You can use one hand holding onto the chair. Get yourself a little taller by pressing down through your left foot. Looking good. Exhale, hands down, right knee comes down. We'll try it on the other side. Just shift your weight to the right hip, right foot. Left knee comes up, flex your left foot. Take your options with your hands. Wobble, wobble is good. Exhale the arms and the knee down. One more on both sides. Right knee lifts up. Lift it up maybe a little higher this time. Flex your right foot. Exhale, arms and legs come down. Left knee rises. Exhale it down. So if you're going back to your chair, go ahead and get back in your chair. If you're lying on your mat, you can go there too. Whichever way you want to end our practice, make your way into a place that feels good. We're going to end with a forward fold, so you can do this seated or in your chair. If you're in your chair, stretch out your legs in front of you so your knees are soft. They're not completely straight, but they're not totally bent. So just kind of straighten out your legs as much as you can. Roll your shoulders back. And then, so we're keeping our spine straight at first, and then slide down your legs. Once you get as far down as you can, then round your spine and drop your head a little more. Slide your hands back up your shins. Back up your legs. Roll your shoulders back. Cross your right leg over, either cross at the ankle or cross at the knees, either way. So right knees on top of left or right ankles on top of left. Take your left hand to your right knee and take a twist. Lift your head up, create space. Back through center. Unwrap your legs, give a little shake, and move to the other side. Cross your left leg over your right hand to the outside of your left leg, twist to the left. Bring yourself back through center, uncross your legs. And if you're on the mat and know how to do bridge pose, go for it. If you're in your chair, I'm going to teach you how to do bridge pose. Turn to the side. Press your hands into the ground, press your feet into the ground, or maybe hold the side of the chair. I'm short arm. And we're just going to lift the hips up and push them forward. And then lower it down. May feel awkward at first. Make sure your chair is nice and stable. Just lift the hips, push them forward so you feel the hip flexors. And lower back down. All right. Wrap your arms around yourself. Give yourself a hug. And then soften everything and make your way into the shape you want to be in for Shavasana or your meditation. So get still. For the next moment or two, you have nothing to do but to relax. And for a lot of people, this is the hardest pose. I know that because it's hard for me too. When things get quiet and get still, my mind races and I either go into the past or I think about the future. But no part of me is here in the present moment when I'm trying to be still. And that is the practice of yoga, this meditation. It's to not only be still in your body, but to be still in your mind. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth and sigh it out. Continue to take in deep breaths and slow exhales. Let your body soften with every exhalation. Let your mind relax. Enjoy the little things in life. For one day, you may look back and realize that those were the big things. Bring attention back into your physical form, your body. And scan it, notice if there's still any tension lingering anywhere. And then move that part of your body and stretch it out. And if you have no tension, bless you, reach out in any direction, waking up your physical body back into a big stretch, any direction you want. If you're on the ground, make your way onto your side and roll up to a seated shape. We'll all end our practice by reaching up to the sky. Bring your hands together at a prayer and bow your head towards your fingertips. Thank you so much for practicing with us this morning. It is such a gift and such a pleasure to share this practice of yoga with you. May each of you have a wonderful Mother's Day, and may you remember your mother. Namaste. Thank you, guys. I'm
Namaste.
taking you off mute.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day,
Mother's Day,
everybody.
everyone.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Melanie.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.
See me Monday.
Happy weekend.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Speaking of mothers, my daughter keeps calling.
Hey, Melanie,
Yes, my dear.
thank you for sharing this morning. I know that was probably really hard for you to do, and I appreciate it.